Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a lovely day, and today we're going to be doing a good old-fashioned palette ranking video. I miss doing these, I just want to talk about the 8 newest palettes in my collection that I've been using and trying out, and I want to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite, and just give you guys my feedback on these products. I haven't done a standard regular makeup review in a little bit, so this was just a good way to summarize some things that I've tried, and I just love talking about palettes because palettes make me happy. So without any further ado, you guys, if you want to check out my small business, The Open Crypt, on Etsy, I'll leave it linked down below, and yeah, let's dive right on in because I think this is just going to be a fun, quick, short, simple video. Okay, so I lied, there's 9 palettes. Apparently I just can't count. There's 9 palettes that I'm going to rank for you today. We're going to start with my least favorite and work our way up to the best. So let's get started with the number 9 spot, and that is going to be a palette that I did review because I just like the idea of this collection, but honestly, just having it for a while, I'm bored with it already. So this is the Alice in Wonderland Colourpop palette. I mean, this one's really cute. Lost in Wonderland is the official name of the palette, but it's Alice in Wonderland themed with Disney. They do a lot of Disney themed palettes, and I was excited for this theme because I really love the Sigma Alice in Wonderland thing they did, and I thought I was going to love this one as well. Now, I do like a lot of the pastel shades in this palette, but it's just boring, and then I feel like I don't really have anything to work with the 2 darker shades in here. So the Cheshire Cat looking shade, which is called Lose Something, and then Nothing's Impossible is a black with glitter in it. I compare these 2 together, but really nothing else really goes with them, so it's not very practical. And then a lot of my eye looks with the pastels look very similar. Some of them take a little bit of building up, so whereas it is pretty, and I do like the cute looks I come up with this palette, there's other palettes I'd rather reach for with pastels than this one, so this is going to be number 9 spot for me, unfortunately. I do love Colourpop, especially for the price tag. That one just didn't hit right for me, I guess, and they haven't released anything recently that I've been super in love with, although they do have a new Haunted Mansion collection coming out that I'm dying for, honestly. At the number 8 spot, I do have an affiliate code with this brand. You can use code Porcelain to save money off of it. It's Alter Ego. So Alter Ego usually dupes other brands that I can't afford. So it makes a dupe for that palette, and I can try it out at a more affordable price tag, you know? But this is going to be their Midsummer palette at the number 8 spot. This one's really pretty, and I like the elongated palette shape. Those are my favorite ones because I can fit them in any drawer organizer. When they're really tall and square palettes, really big mega palettes, they're harder to store, especially since I do still use Alex drawers. So I just like the elongated shape. That's a benefit for me. But this Midsummer palette, it's coming in at the number 8 spot just because it's still a little bit boring, and I don't really use the purpley reddy side over here. I kind of just reach for my regular everyday neutrals. A little bit of green, a little bit of gold really works for me, but this random lavender and this random warmish shade doesn't really. I can make the warmer reddish shade work with some of my neutral looks, but the pastel lavender feels out of place, and then I really want a nice light shimmer to go with this, but I don't have one. If I was going to use this, right, for let's do a pop in inner corner, right, I would want some shimmer to pair with it, and the only shimmer we have is this one, which is much darker than this. So if it had a light pastel lavender shimmer or a cream shimmer or a white shimmer or anything, even a really light silver, anything to pair with this one, I feel like it would have worked a little better. However, I do know they're duping a different palette, so that's why the color scheme is what it is, but it's not my perfect palette. Okay, so number 7 is a little bit of a series, okay? So I'm going to talk about the Tiramisu palette from Sigma. They have released all kinds of these little dessert palettes. Tiramisu is the one I've used the most, so that's why I'm talking about this one specifically, but they have a ton of little dessert themed palettes. They're super cute. They're really pretty. This one, Blueberry Parfait, I really want to reach for because I haven't used it yet, and it's just, that's my kind of color scheme, you know? But Tiramisu is the one I've used the most. I feel like it's the perfect little travel palette. I do like it. The reason it is at the number 7 spot is just because you kind of know exactly what look you're getting out of this palette because it's only 4 shades. So this is Tiramisu. Again, they come with all kinds of little different dessert themed things. This one's called Bon Bon. It has pinks in it. They have a different color story for everyone, I feel like. No matter your favorite go-to shades, they kind of have that, as long as it's not uber bright is your regular everyday shade. But these are really nice, good quality. I mean, honestly, the reason it ranked up higher than the other palettes, even though it only has 4 shades, is because I look at this, I'm like, easy, done. I know what my eyeshadow is going to be. Now, you may notice what's on my face today is not my everyday look. It's a little bit different, but I wanted to show you this palette so I could describe it better. You know, I feel like by seeing it on me, it's a little easier to describe. But this is going to be the Wicked Widow Beauty Scissorhands palette. This one is very pretty. I do wish, first of all, I love Edward Scissorhands. Let's put that out there. My whole forearm is Edward Scissorhands. Love that movie. It is my favorite. Well, it's up there. I do wish if this was called the Scissorhands palette, it would say it on the front. It just says Wicked Widow on the front. I do wish it said the name of the palette on here or on the spine or on the back. It doesn't say the name of it, which makes it harder for me, not for me because I know what it is, but other influencers or anybody else just making a TikTok about what eyeshadow there is. If it has had the name of the palette on the front, it will be easier for them to tell someone else what it is to go get it. But it has a cute mirror on the inside. The color scheme in here is very pretty. It's very pretty. I feel like a lot of people would get a lot of use out of this. This reminds me so much of like a Mama Mitchell palette or one of those fancy Be Perfect palettes. But it's very pretty. I like this deep red. I like the icy shade, but when you swatch it, it is a lavender color. I think it's very fun, and I like this kind of shade right here, which is kind of a duo shift green purple, and I like the greens in here as well. Now here's my complaint. One, if it's an Edward Scissorhands palette, I would expect a couple different colors in here. Personally, like I would expect more silver instead of just this one right here, which doesn't really have a matte to go with it. I would expect more silver out of an Edward Scissorhands palette, or perhaps like a Peg Outfit pink, like an Avon Calling kind of shade. But this is the color scheme we got, so I like it. I like the deep red, blood red too, which is right beside the white, which makes that whole Kim outfit dream for me. I do think the pigmentation on the mattes is a little bit off. This is the shimmer, or this is the matte that is on my crease. I put a nice eyelid primer down and I really packed on this color with my packing brush, then blended out with a blending brush to try to get it very green. It pulls aqua. So like this is, again, this is the color in my crease, and it pulls very aqua and it has faded. I've only been wearing it about an hour, but it has faded. Now you can see I just packed on the green under here, right? I packed it a ton under here by itself, and it does pull a little more green, but I still don't think it's the punch-in green opacity that I would kind of expect. It does pull more of an aqua color. The shimmers, however, here, let's swatch this one. It's called Imperfect. It's kind of that duochrome one, right? The shimmers are so freaking beautiful. Like, this is a stunning metallic. Like, it's so pretty that, like, yes, the mattes are a little bit off. I've used it 3 times now. The mattes are a little bit off compared to like what you expect, but the shimmers are just like a dream. So because it's not absolutely perfect to the color story of the movie, and because it is harder to tell someone what the palette name is technically, and because the mattes are a little bit off, it is a little lower on the list, but I couldn't put it that low on the list because these shimmers are so freaking beautiful. At the number 5 spot, we have a more boring palette now. Again, I do have an alter ego affiliate. You can use it if you want. It's cool. But this one, I know it's boring, but it's just like such an easy everyday go-to, don't think about it kind of eyeshadow palette for me. This is the Sakura palette. Now, I do wish if it was called the Sakura palette with this beautiful cherry blossom kind of front here and the beautiful colors, I wish the inside matched. It's kind of a pet peeve that it doesn't match at all. But it's pretty. Like, okay, you see the inspiration on the front. This is so much more bold and pretty and colorful, and then it like mutes down on the inside. However, this is a really easy go-to palette for me. Like, I like that I can see one row and be like, that's my eye look. I can look at the middle row and be like, that's an eye look. It's very easy to use. I don't have to think about my eyeshadow, and it's going to be really pretty. The shimmers in here are nice. They're a little more subtle than like, they're not really a metallic. They're just more of a subtle shimmer. But it's easy to work with, and you know, I've used it a lot because it's just so simple. Sometimes simple just works. Like, you know how people knock on Tarte? Like, sometimes it just works, okay? I don't know. Anyways, going on to the number 4 spot now, I do have a review of this, like a first impressions of this, and I'm super excited for this brand's next Scream collaboration. Oh my god, I'm so excited for it. I hope I can get my hands on it. But this is going to be the Glam Light Rick and Morty palette. I love Glam Light, first of all. Their quality is just like chef's kiss beautiful. They do release some weird lip glosses. I will say that. Glam Light releases some weird looking lip glosses sometimes, especially with this collection. But like their eyeshadow palettes are banging. okay, their eyeshadow palettes are banging, and I also quite enjoy their eyelashes. But this is the Rick and Morty palette. Again, you can check out my first impressions if you want to, but this palette just has it all for me. I feel like the mattes are very well pigmented. They blend really nicely. The purples blend a little less nice than others, just because that's usually how purple pigmentation is. It is a little more effort to blend out, but everything's so pretty. Like, these oranges are perfect. I really like the pinks. And then also some of the shimmers have like a different shift to it. So let's watch this first one here, which just looks like a regular whitish champagne color. It has pinky lavender mixed into it that you wouldn't really expect. It's beautiful. I love this palette. I haven't got to use this dark blue. I'm worried that might be a little hard to blend, but overall, so far I've used it, it's really nice. I will say they get a little bit smushy panned on the shimmers when you stick your finger in it. It's not hard pan, it still picks up really nice, but it does kind of smush. So yeah, this one's beautiful though. Like, I do think it's kind of big and bulky, harder to store, but like when you want that poppin' eyeshadow, this does it, and I would highly recommend the orange colors. Next up is the number 3 spot. Now, if it wasn't for this packaging being a fabric material, this probably would have hit for number 2 for me, but we're hitting at number 3 because cat hair sticks to this because it's a fabric packaging. So this is the new Nomad Cosmetics Safari palette. It's like Okavango, I think that's how you say it. It's a Safari palette. This is beautiful for warm eye looks or green eye looks. Now, if you love a warm eyeshadow, but you don't want to necessarily do like a brick red, this works so well. Like, look at these colors. Look at these, so beautiful. Like, I love all these warm browns. I love these grays. This is a really nice cool tone brown, but then we have all these rest of these warmy shades up here. Like, this gold is stunning. This shade, because it's a mixed shade, it's called Migrating Zebras. Maybe a little bit hard to see what color. It's just a metallic-y. It's just a metallic-y silvery shade, even though in the pan it does look a little bit scary. This is just a good staple palette. All the shades perform nicely. I love the pigmentation. It's easy as hell to blend. Like, these blend so nicely. And I also really like the greens. Now, I will say this green takes a little bit of building up, but it's not bad. And I just love the warm neutral shades in here. They're really easy to use. And then the shimmers are very soft and buttery, easy to use as well. So if this had no fabric packaging, because like even if you like get eyeshadow on this packaging on the fabric, it's gonna look gross. This would have been ranked higher, but for now it's at number 3 spot because you could easily get this dirty and it does stick to cat hair. Number 2 spot, I can't really justify this spot because it is basic and boring, but I've really been enjoying using it, so it's ranked this high for me because I've been having fun with it. And this is the Kaleidos new palette. This one's the Kaleidos Quad called Venus Trap. Now, this came in a set of 2. This collection released 2 palettes. There's a purple one. I haven't used that one yet, so I can't speak to the quality of that one. But this one, Venus Trap, it has like squishy. It's squishy, but it's not fabric. It's just, I mean, it's not fur. It's just a smooth cushion fabric. This is so pretty. First of all, the packaging is beautiful. And then on the inside, at first, when I first opened this, I was like, why is there a pink? There's like a light pink in here. But it kind of just works. Like, it kind of works for higher up on the brow bone. It kind of works for higher up in your crease before you put one of the darker mattes down to help blend it out. Like, it just works. And it's just a beautiful everyday kind of palette for me. I've been having so much fun with it. And then it has more of a glittery shimmer. Like, that's one swatch, you guys. Like, and there's still some on my finger. Like, that's one swatch. It's just gorgeous, just all over the lid, kind of metallic shade, metallic-y glittery shade without making a ton of fallout mess all over your eyes. And then the browns blend out nicely. So it's just the convenience and like having a gorgeous glamorous, because it's, again, it's so glittery metallic. You have a glamorous eye look with like 0 effort with this one. So I've just been having a fun time with this. I know it's more of a boring color scheme. I don't really care. And lastly, the number 1 spot. This one is newer to me, but I've been having fun using it. This is an eye look that I did. I'll insert over this. This is an eye look that I did the other day that was just like one of the easy everyday go-to looks I've been doing with this palette. Now, this palette does get squishy pan on the shimmers. Again, like the Glam Light one does too, the squishy pan on the shadows, which does kind of ruin the look of the palette even if you haven't used it that much. But it performs so nicely and I'm having a good time with it. So this is going to be the Ghost Town USA palette from Nomad. We have 2 Nomad palettes on this list, which is kind of surprising because I don't really talk about them that much, you know. But this Ghost Town palette, first of all, I like this holographic thing on the front. It's cute, right? It's cute, and it's like a spooky theme, and it's like a spooky Western theme. I'm so here for it. This palette is stunning. You can, I wore this green look yesterday. You can kind of tell it got squishy pan on it, but it is so beautiful. I also really enjoy this goldy green shade as well. The green shade and the goldy green shade are really nice. This is the color I've used the most. It's called Rhyolite, Nevada. They're named after places. But this shimmer right here is so pretty on the lid. It's so pretty. I've been having so much fun with this palette. I like every look I come up with. Again, that you can create some really simple looks with here because there's a ton of neutrals, but the shimmers look really pretty. I will say the green, I wanted to be a little more bold of a green with using these two mattes, but it was just kind of a nice ivy color. And then the everyday kind of go-to neutral looks, like I just showed you on my eyes from yesterday, are just super simple and pretty. So I've been having fun with this. It's like a really good way for me to do neutrals, like a little bit of color in here without being like crazy. It's beautiful. It's lovely. I want to use these kind of coppery shades next. It's just a good time. This palette's been a good time for me so far. Like, I've only had it for about a week, and I've used it at least 4 times. So yeah, this one's been a fun time. Anyways, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I did. I love talking about palettes. Like, palettes just make me happy. Even if the palettes were like not my favorite, you know, like the ones towards the back of the list, I've still had a good time trying them out for the first time and like trying them out and seeing what looks like I come up with. Like, I do wear makeup every single day. Sometimes against my will. Like, I do wish, you know, once in a while I had a day where I didn't have to wear makeup, but I have to wear makeup every day now. But I've been having fun with it. I just like trying new things, and also wearing makeup every single day instead of giving myself a break here and there has made me like want to reach for more palettes that are comfortable to me, reach for palettes that are, oh, this has a little bit more of a glamorous shimmer, like that makes it a little more fun than an everyday like soft shimmer. So I feel like wearing makeup constantly, you want a little bit of something comfortable, easy for you to do, but with a little bit of spice here and there mixed in. Like I think that's why I love this Kaleidos palette so much, is just because it is such a metallic, beautiful, glittery shimmer without being like a glittery mess, you know? And then also like the variety of this with us still having a lot of cool tones is really working for me. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your favorite palette. I don't care if it's new or not. Let me know your favorite palette you've been using recently down below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you later. Have a beautiful day. Okay, bye.